Son Goku. Is that all you can show?
Universe 7, Earth. At that moment on Earth, several things begin to happen. Gohan and Piccolo continue their training. Gohan says, Mr. Piccolo, it looks like things are totally different from now. In my father's absence, we have to save the Earth here. We've clearly faced Cell Max and several other extremely powerful warriors, but I'm sure our strength will increase even more. Vegeta also ended up disappearing from here. What's going on? I can't understand it. It seems that my father really took his God Killer task seriously. I don't know how it would be if Mr. Beerus or Mr. Whis himself decided to fight my father. At that moment, Piccolo says,
That's where you're wrong now. Perhaps this has already happened. Can you understand that Goku is not fighting for a bad cause? He's just wanting to protect those he always helped.
Gohan tries to understand what Piccolo was trying to say. Piccolo concludes,
I have long been of the family of evil. I fought your father before you were born, and at that time my life was linked with the god in the dragon spheres. On this planet, Kami-sama himself. Without thinking twice, I defeated Kami-sama. And Goku was the only hope. I could be considered a god at the time. I could do whatever I wanted, and whenever I wanted. But I ended up making other decisions, and everything ended up becoming something much more complicated. Can you understand now, Gohan? Maybe if Goku hadn't defeated me that day and still had the compassion to give me the Senzu Bean for me to recover, maybe you wouldn't even exist today. That was a totally surreal thing that ended up happening. Soon after, he ended up changing me and made all the other things end up joining him. Perhaps his goal as a god killer, even eliminating the gods of destruction, he still wants to bring them back one day and enter into an agreement. But that may have been the best way he could think of for things to happen in a peaceful way again.
Gohan just watches. Doesn't make sense what Piccolo was saying. At that time in the time chamber, Vegeta continues to carry out his training. Vegeta says,
If Kakarot believes he'll get stronger and stronger, then I will not stay behind. He is very strong. Now I will show that the great Vegeta will be able to reach unimaginable levels of strength. He thinks this God Killer power is very powerful skill. He didn't see anything. The great Vegeta with my Ultra Ego transformation will be able to defeat any enemy and show extremely gigantic skills because I am the Prince of all Saiyans, the most powerful being of all existence.
Vegeta continues training, right now on the planet Beerus. Does Beerus the Destroyer return alongside Whis to his planet? Whis starts to reflect and says, looks like things are getting a lot more intense, doesn't it? Gods of space, time, and war, unleashed in Universe 6. And on the other hand, we still have beings that are extremely powerful that keep causing trouble. If Son Goku wasn't defeated by me at the time, maybe I have to let him continue to act until we meet again. Oh, he really became more powerful. I think that after millennia, I will do something that I haven't done in a long time. Whis looks at Beerus and speaks. What do you intend to do, Mr. Beerus? At that moment, Beerus says,
Perform a new training in the Chamber of the Gods. Isn't that fantastic, Whis?
Observation. The Chamber of the Gods is similar to the Time Chamber, where the gods train in an empty dimension to become much more powerful. Beerus decided to undertake the new training. The God of Destruction recognized the strength of the mortals and decided to become much stronger than he already is. What is Beerus up to? Hey, how's it going? Just here to remind you to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos and stay well inside our entire universe of Dragon Ball. Without further ado, let's get started. Universe 6, Goku vs. Ares. The battle keeps getting more and more intense, and all the participants start to be shocked to see several punches thrown from both parties. Goku doesn't flinch from the blows he's been taking from Ares, and Ares, smiling, also starts hitting Goku. Ares says,
"If you think that with that power you will be able to defeat me, you are very mistaken. So if you don't decide to use your full form, I will finish you off. Show me the power you showed in the tournament ranking soon."
Goku starts to hesitate and tries to dodge the blows that were launched by Ares. At that moment, Ares was showing an entire different skill. Goku knew that Super Saiyan 2 wasn't enough to defeat him. After all, we were talking about the God of War. At this moment, Goku says,
"Looks like there's no way. So now I'll have to use my divine power against you."
Goku activates the Super Saiyan Blue, and shortly after,
Kaioken times 20!
Ares is surprised and says,
"What is this?" He managed to increase his power exponentially several times. This transformation, this ki, he also became a god.
All the other Saiyans who were watching were stunned by what was happening. The tournament classifier says, "Incredible! It seems that the mortal Kakarot can also raise his energy with the energy of a god! His strength is totally different! It seems that someone is fighting the height against the God of War Ares! Who will be the winner of this fight?" Meanwhile, at King Sadala's palace, King Sadala watched everything that was happening and says,
"That is amazing. A mortal who can raise his powers to the level of a god. Does that mean we have a warrior like that in Universe 6? As far as I remember and the information that I gained, the only ones who can manage to do that were the Saiyans of Universe 7, the ones that were in the Tournament of Power. Something's going on. Something strange is happening in this tournament. I want information about this Kakarot. Find out which region of the planet Sadala is he from. We need to have more information about his families."
At that moment, Vados, concerned, says,
"Looks like things are going to get more complicated. If they really find out who you are, Mr. Goku, good luck. I hope you have a great luck beating Ares, because it won't be an easy battle."
When Goku activates the Super Saiyan Blue, he sees that Ares had a completely different look on his face. It seems that the God of War was seeing that he had chances to be defeated. At that moment, a big laugh starts to emerge. Ares says,
"Incredible! I never imagined that there would be such a powerful mortal in this universe! You are fantastic, Kakarot! But that's not enough! So, come on! I wanna dance!"
At that moment, Ares increases his powers even more, and with a crazy look, he hits a big punch on Goku with Kaioken increased 20 times. Goku says,
"This guy is incredible!
He's still struggling playing with me, even though I raised my powers even more. It seems that it wasn't an easy task to fight the God of War of Universe 6. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
I'm going to win!"
Big impacts were happening in Universe 6. All Saiyans were impressed with what they're seeing. The Saiyan who just now everyone believed was a weak being and who had won the qualifying fights by sheer luck was fighting equally and even making the God of War Ares hesitate. Who is the Saiyan Kakarot who challenges even the gods? At that moment, Ares, with great mastery, started to land several blows on Goku. Even with his Super Saiyan Blue form elevated, he still feels a great pressure of energy. Goku says,
"It seems like it was really crazy with normal techniques and finding a god like that. If I really show my powers, maybe someone will find out who I am. But I don't have a choice. The way it's going here,
If I don't do it, I'm done for. This guy, he's very strong, and I'm still sure he's not fighting with all his might.
Ares watches and says,
Good. It seems that you finally understand that you won't be able to defeat me with just that power, don't you? If you have any other skills, I think it would be time for you to use them. You're always like that? You analyze the enemies and then you don't defeat them. I think about it. If this is how you fight, you will surely be defeated with great ease by the Great War Emperor.
At that moment, Goku starts laughing and says,
You're pretty strong. I fought very powerful guys. Not long ago, I fought a warrior named Yami. He was probably stronger than you. In fact, I've never seen a mortal as strong as that guy.
At that moment, Ares says,
You know Yami? How did this guy even fight the 7th strongest warrior in the entire universes? He fought Yami and still managed to stand? Who is this guy anyway?
At that moment, Goku starts to raise his ki even more. As Goku increased his energy even more, the entire audience that was watching and not believing that a Saiyan could get stronger was watching everything that was happening. The audience said,
What do you mean? Can a Saiyan get that powerful? How can a Saiyan raise his strength to the level of a god? This is impossible. This warrior is a fraud.
At that moment, an angry Caulifla begins to speak.
Hey, you assholes! Stop talking like that! He is a Saiyan who is fighting for all of us! Just like you, he also has dreams and is here to prove and show his true strength! And his true worth.
The entire audience begins to observe for a few moments what Caulifla has to say. Caulifla concludes,
All this time, we've been under the tyranny of some gods of destruction. For all that time, we never had the opportunity to be able to hear and be heard. Every time we went up against the god of destruction, the god of destruction eradicated a different planet. It seems that we were cogs, just pawns to all of it. And we were mere idiots. And this time, the one who is fighting is the god of war who knows how to create a great catastrophe in everything he goes through. And a Saiyan who is fighting with his thoughts on our familiars. And on all of us. Who do you want to win? Who do you believe has the potential? If a Saiyan manages to raise his power even more and manages to equal his power to that of a god, it is because he must be chosen by all of us to be their next king. Let's believe in the level we ourselves are capable of. Mortals may yet rule everything one day.
At that moment, it seems that all the Saiyans resolved and understood what Caulifla was trying to say. All Saiyans realized that Goku, or rather Kakarot, was not the problem, but maybe the solution for times of peace and harmony for the warriors. Saiyans knew that King Sadala could do a good reign as a god of destruction, but King Sadala was not the one who was fighting for justice for all. So he was the one who was showing his true strength. The one who was impressing everyone with his fighting power was the Saiyan, that Saiyan, who until now was an unknown being. In a few moments, a scream is heard.
Come on, Kakarot! Let's go, Kakarot! We have faith in you!
Kakarot! 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 Kakarot!
Everyone starts screaming. Frieza looks and says,
How insolent you Saiyans are! Just now they were shouting my name. Now they're screaming the name of that damn Son Goku. Well, it doesn't bother me. I'll finish them off in a blink of an eye.
At that moment, Goku fighting Ares activates his Ultra Instinct. Ares is impressed and says,
Now they're screaming your name, Kakarot.
At that moment, Goku fighting Ares activates his Ultra Instinct. Ares is impressed and says,
This guy manages to use the Ultra Instinct, the technique that even the gods of destruction have a hard time using. Who are you anyway?
At that moment, King Sadala appears and says,
Interesting fight, isn't it?
Goku looks at King Sadala and starts watching. Ares says,
That insolent being! You want to stop our fight! If you try to do something like that, I'll never forgive you!
At that moment, King Sadala says,
This is nothing more important. But we have a false classification here in this tournament. The Kakarot participant is actually Son Goku, the mortal who fought in the Tournament of Power and fought against Jiren. That warrior who had strength levels linked to a god of destruction. Goku barely defeated Jiren, but as much as the battle was gigantic, his universe managed to win and caused all the other universes to be brought back. We can't just forget that this Tournament of Power only appeared because Goku asked Zeno-sama for him to know the strength level of other warriors from other universes. A greedy thought and wish.
At that moment, Goku speaks.
No! I can't believe it! I'm unmasked! I got caught!
Cauliflower watches and says,
So King Sadala found out about everything!
Bakura says,
No, it can't be now! Damn it. What will happen?
all participants were watching. All participants start shouting, Goku, Goku, Goku! Win this fight, Goku! King Sadala starts to laugh and says,
It seems that no one cared about it. So if the audience doesn't care about what this fight is, keep going. Fight till the end.
At that moment, the tournament classifier observes and speaks. If King Sadala authorized the continuation of the fight, then now the Kakarot participant, or better, Son Goku of Universe 7, continue fighting against Ares, the god of war! Ares starts to raise his power more, and the whole ground starts to shake, and in little moments, the whole sky starts to darken. Ares says,
It is time to fight for real. If you have shown the Ultra Instinct mastered, now you realize you're fighting the god. And that will be your end, Son Goku!
Ultra Instinct, the technique that all the gods of destruction find it difficult to utilize. To perform Ultra Instinct, the user needs to have a lull in their body, having a total peaceful energy and at the same time a very sharp fighting instinct. Few mortals can perform this skill, but that Saiyan who was always prepared to fight and face challenges managed to reach this level of power. At that moment, we can see Goku with his eye Ultra Instinct fighting the God of War of Universe 6. It seems that the height of the struggle was coming to an end. Who will win this battle, Goku or Ares? All Saiyans were excited to see Goku battle. The mortal Universe 7 fighting Ares, the God of War. The king of the planet Sadala watched the fight and said,
I don't think I'll stay here watching this anymore. It seems I already know who will emerge victorious from here.
At that moment, Vados watched and said,
It seems you didn't care much about the warrior who fought in the Tournament of Power. It seems you didn't care much that the mortal who fought in the Tournament of Power is here in your universe. Isn't it, King Sadala?
At that moment, King Sadala says,
If he's here, then something must be going on. Strange things ended up happening. Champa, the god of destruction of this universe, and I heard that Liquid, Belmont were also eliminated. Don't tell me the elimination of these gods of destruction has something to do with this mortal.
Vados gets serious, but right after she smiles and says,
And only time will tell us.
And at that moment, King Sadala starts to smile with a completely different look from before and says,
Incredible. So for the first time, I will be able to fight someone so strong and show all my powers.
King Sadala will show his true Saiyan fighting instinct. What will be the true level of King Sadala? Back to Goku and Ares' fight. Ares sees that Goku has raised his Ultra Instinct and advances to attack the Universe 7 Saiyan. Ares tries to throw several punches at Goku, but at the same time, he does not manage to land any blows. Ares says,
This is impossible! How is he managing to escape the blows of the God of War? How is he managing to raise such a powerful energy? It doesn't make any sense! Just a few minutes ago he couldn't even match his movements with mine! Now he was showing totally different skills! How do you do that, Son Goku? You entered this tournament pretending to be another warrior, and now you are even getting the affection of all the participants. I will never forgive you! Never! This universe will be mine, and you will be defeated. I will become the new god of destruction and rule over everything.
At that moment, Goku, dodging all of Ares' attacks, begins to have a completely different look on his face. That Goku who was laughing throughout the battle and excited about the whole fight started to have a totally different perspective of the fight. Goku says, You, all this time said you were going to become the new god of destruction and make everyone just your dispatches and make everyone just watch whatever you're doing. Do you think I as a mortal would accept that? All Saiyans only live in quiet moments and try to do the best for their families and their people. Even the king of this planet, from what I understand, wants to bring calm and peace among everyone. And you, being the god of war, instead of thinking about having control over the wars, do you want the war to continue? You want to create people just so they can destroy others. That's why I became a real god killer. If a god wants to cause some intrigue, trouble, and wants to destroy some good family, I will finish off this god myself. I'll show you how to fight for real. If it's to break the heavenly rules to end some mistakes that are causing something against mortals, I'll do it. I am Son Goku from Universe 7, the true god killer. At that moment, Goku's countenance changes, and Goku charges directly at Ares and begins to launch several attacks at the God of War. Goku's Ultra Instinct form looked totally different. Goku was at his much higher power. Caulifla says,
This is amazing! He looks like Mr. Goku is totally different than when he first showed his powers to me, and is managing to elevate his form to a much greater level. Is this the true power of Lord Goku? So he was playing with me all this time? Wait, he was playing with me all this time? You miserable old man! You're going to teach me how to fight like that. I need to get stronger.
At that moment, Bakura says, This is amazing. Even though Ares has totally high powers, Lord Goku's powers managed to get much stronger. All this that is happening makes it seem like the God of War is a mere child, afraid of a mortal who ended up surpassing his powers. No one believes what they're seeing. No one is believing. Neither am I. Goku increased his powers more and more. Ares was scared to death and says,
No, damn it, that can't happen. You are not human, you're not mortal. You are the slayer of gods. I don't believe you. I won't let you kill me. I won't let you beat me. Deadly sphere of destruction. Supreme strike of the God of War.
The moment Ares energizes his great burst of energy, the tournament classifier says, It looks like Ares, the God of War, is getting ready to deliver his final blow. At that moment, Goku stands in the sky, flying like a shining star, and says,
Now this will be your end. Let's get this over with. Kame! Kame!
Just as Goku launches a big Kamehameha, the blow collides with Ares, and Ares yells,
I'm going to beat you, Son Goku! You'll never be able to do anything against me!
At that moment, Goku starts laughing and says,
Even though you're an enemy, you really were strong. It seems that after my fight against Mr. Beerus, I found Yami. Those battles made my powers increase even more. I think I have to thank them. If it weren't for this fight, maybe I wouldn't be able to beat you. Goodbye, Ares. I hope that one day we meet in another universe.
At that moment, Goku destroys the entire body of the God of War in their fight. Ares is completely knocked out of existence by Goku. The classifier and the other warriors couldn't believe their eyes. Goku, the mortal of Universe 7, emerged victorious. Frieza says. Frieza laughs. The classifier says. For a giant turn in the battle, the victor is Son Goku! Goku at that moment deactivates his Ultra Instinct transformation and says, looks like I won. King Sadala smiles and says,
Soon we will start.
Goku, with all his power, was victorious in this battle against the God of War, Ares. All the Saiyans had started rooting for Goku to win the battle against the God of War. It seemed that for a while, Goku was being recognized by all the other Saiyans that he could be the salvation not only for the planet, but also for the entire universe. That mortal who started the tournament fighting just to get to speak with King Sadala was now being glorified by all other Saiyans to become the new God of Destruction. Goku being a God killer, would he accept becoming the new God of Destruction? Goku grew stronger as he used his God killer energy powers. But even more challenges await the spiky-haired Saiyan. Goku walks out of the arena with his body all bruised up and says,
This fight was great! This guy's really strong! If you weren't from my past fights, I certainly wouldn't have been able to defeat that guy! A God of War, huh? Does that mean that there are several other types of God that are here in these universes? Aren't they just gods of destruction? They aren't, right? I hadn't even thought about it. It could be that these things can get even more complicated, right? Strange that each God of destruction has a different goal. It seems that each one wants to make his reign as if he were going to create his own rules. I wonder, what the Zeno-sama and the High Priest are thinking in the midst of all this? Palace of the Zeno-sama. Zeno-sama starts talking to Daishi-kun and says,
Oh, Daishi-kun, have you noticed how Goku manages to get so much stronger after all this time? His God Killer powers are definitely getting bigger. With each passing battle, he manages to show us an even growing spectacle.
Daishi-kun starts watching smiling and says, Indeed, the performance that Mr. Goku is showing is increasingly intense, Mr. Zeno-sama. 3 gods of destruction cease to exist. It seems that soon we will have very drastic changes in the universal rules. Zeno-sama's guards begin to observe everything that was happening. Note, whenever gods of destruction or gods of creation are eradicated, breaches in the celestial rules end up being created. Whenever a god of destruction was eradicated, his palace was vacant and another extremely strong warrior ended up entering his place. In this way, a looping storm was created. When gods of destruction run out of control, extremely strong warriors who are the slayers of gods end up appearing. And with that, they become increasingly powerful, having their targets to eliminate gods of destruction. Zeno-sama only interferes in a universe when he realizes that that universe no longer has the salvation that it needs. If another warrior proves to be worthy of being a god of destruction, he has a meeting alongside the great priest and Zeno-sama to prove his powers. But for this to happen, the other celestial entities need to agree with everything that has been happening. Zeno-sama says,
Goku is very strong. I can feel his energy in Universe 6. He has already fought very powerful guys. The tournament between Universe 7 and Universe 6 was really amazing, Daishi-kun. Do you remember? He managed to fight Hit, who at the same time was the assassin of Universe 6. Hit was sent to silently eliminate several extremely strong generals. And with that, he managed to be considered one of the most powerful warriors in his entire universe. Everyone was surprised to see that Hit, who was thousands of years old, found it very difficult to fight Goku when he turned his hair blue and his body red. It was as if he had increased his power so many times that he could not withstand such pressure from that power. Goku at the same time already surprised Champa, who was the god of destruction of Universe 6. Goku at the same time had already surprised Champa, who was the god of destruction of Universe 6. Now Goku himself has managed to surpass Champa himself.
Daishikan starts to laugh and says, I need to be careful, otherwise soon he will want to surpass even the angels. Within this universe, there are extremely powerful beings. From what I could see, Yami, the 7th most powerful mortal in the universe of the Rajin race, even fought against Son Goku and managed to show monstrous energy. It was not clear who could have come out with a victory. Just because Son Goku managed to fight the 7th most powerful in the universes is already a sign that after he became a god killer, his skills increased exponentially. Well, Seno-sama, let's wait until the time comes for some interception. Planet Earth. Gohan and Piccolo performed their training and went straight to Kami-sama's temple. Gohan says, Mr. Piccolo, I'm sure we'll get much stronger from now on. With our new powers, training inside the time chamber will make our energies increase even more. I feel that a great catastrophe can still happen. We don't know how this journey of my father will result. It seems that messing with the gods can trigger something much more complicated. I will grow stronger to protect the Earth with all my might. At that moment, Dende appears in front of Gohan and Piccolo and says, hello Gohan-san, Piccolo-san, have you come to visit us here? At that moment, just feeling the energy of Gohan and Piccolo, Dende had been scared, realizing that the powers of the two were on another level of strength. Dende says in his mind, what an incredible power is being emanated by all of them. Did they manage to get much stronger even after they fought Cell Max? Is this the real power of Mr. Gohan and Mr. Piccolo? Gohan says, hey Dende, we need to know if it's possible to train at a time chamber now. I'm sure Mr. Piccolo and I can get much stronger, much more powerful to be able to save everyone here on Earth. In my father's absence, of course. At that moment, Dende smiles and says, I don't know if that would be possible now, Mr. Gohan and Mr. Piccolo. Right now, there's another person training there. Gohan and Piccolo are surprised. Gohan questions, Huh? Who's training there? Dende. At that moment, a great shudder takes place in the temple of the Kami-sama. Gohan and Piccolo are startled by the great shudder that occurs. Gohan says, what monstrous energy is that? Piccolo says,
I know this key.
At that moment, Dende observes and says, looks like he finished training. At that moment, the time chamber explodes and Vegeta Ultra Ego appears with his extremely high power level. Vegeta Ultra Ego says,
what are you doing here, Kakarot Swarm? The great Vegeta has completed his training. As soon as I find Kakarot, I will show him that the great Vegeta is the most powerful of all. My Ultra Ego reached a level never seen before! Ha 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 ha!
Vegeta finally finishes his training. While Goku is in Universe 6, increasing his powers in the fight against the gods, the Z Warriors continue to train. It seems that somehow the Z Fighters know that the path of a god killer can bring even greater complication to the universes. What will Goku do in the midst of all this? Planet Kaio. Lord Kaio begins to observe all the changes that are happening in space and time, and he had noticed that 3 extremely powerful beings had arrived at the entrance of the dead, and were talking to Emma Dio. Lord Kaio says,
Very strange. What is happening? I can no longer feel Goku's energy in Universe 7. His energy is directly concentrated in Universe 6. Now he's being named a God Killer, but apparently he's only attacking the gods of destruction. Despite that, if you think about it, if he was going to attack the other gods too, he would be doing something like Majin Buu. Just thinking that Majin Buu destroyed several planets and wanted to create the greatest catastrophe. All the Hakaishin gods were eradicated by the demon Majin Buu. This makes us have to reflect on what a being with extremely high powers is capable of doing. But if you think about it, Majin Buu was a demon. In this case, Goku has a totally different rationale. After all, he himself defeated Majin Buu to save the Earth and all the universe. I'm getting so confused. Goku, what are you up to eradicating the gods?
Universe 6. After Goku has fought Ares and defeated him, the break for the final fight for the Tournament of Destruction would be one day. Goku will fight Frieza. Since Frieza has reached his black form, his powers have been immeasurable. No one knows how far his strength is limited. Once Frieza easily defeated, Goku and Vegeta in their strongest forms of Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. But now, Goku reached the God Killer stage, and Vegeta the second stage of Ultra Ego. A great battle will still begin. Goku is in the recovery room eating like there's no tomorrow. Caulifla is eating at an average pace though, while Bakura is eating at a much slower rate than Goku and Caulifla. Bakura starts watching and speaks. You two are eating very little. What? How are you eating so much? Even though you're Saiyans, you're eating too much. It seems that your stomachs are endless. Goku says, I'm starving. Ever since I started fighting Mr. Beerus, then Yami, and even Ares, I didn't have food as delicious as this. Hey, send me more food. Talking with her mouth full. So your secret is to eat a lot, isn't it, old man? I'll show you that I'll get stronger than you by eating more than you. Send more food here too. Bakura says, what the hell are you two doing? You're going to be sick. Meanwhile, on the B side of the classifiers, we see Frieza with a crazy smile and saying, that miserable son Goku managed to win the fight against the god too. That means he's now called the God Killer, the true killer of gods. It reminds me of every scrumptious attitude he's had since I met him. From the beginning, I always pushed my powers to extreme levels. Frieza sits on a bench and begins to reflect. Flashbacks to years ago. Frieza has been by his father's side for years on his ship. King Cold says, my son, Saiyans are extremely funny beings, aren't they? Even though they are totally inferior beings, we can still wonder about the powers they have to show. Sometimes I don't know if it's my mistake, but I always imagine that they could be much more powerful than all other beings of other races. This race is really strange. They have tails. These tails. This way of transforming themselves into giant apes when looking at the moon. I cannot understand all that is happening. It seems that they are like primate warriors that have always been evolving. Just like our race that has always been evolving. It seems that the only race that can keep up with us and reach unimaginable levels is the race of these primates. At that moment, Frieza looks with an angry look at King Cold and says, are you trying to say that these useless, insolent Saiyans are superior to us? King Cold looks and speaks. No. On the contrary, son. Frieza watches and says, my father, don't worry about it. I am your heir, and better, the emperor of the entire universe. And I already know exactly what we must do to end all of this. These Saiyans, from what I can understand, are a great threat to all of us. We will never be defeated by all of them. We have a giant army. I, the great Frieza, will eradicate one by one in this race until the moment there's nothing left. At that moment, King Cold is looking at Frieza, trying to understand why he would attack that race that always provided services to Frieza's army. Frieza responds, these Saiyans are insolent beings, and I'll never forgive them for just existing. Frieza starts smiling and laughing at the same time. Times pass, and Frieza destroyed the Saiyan's planet. Back to current times. Frieza, after having his reflection, concludes, I had managed to accomplish practically all my goals until you appeared. The Saiyan race was practically eradicated, but you appeared. You started to cause the biggest catastrophe alongside your idiot friends. That son of a bitch of yours attacked Dodoria. Then the miserable Vegeta eliminated Dodoria and Zarbon. Afterwards, even the Genio Force were eradicated by them. But worst of all was you. None of them were a match for me. But you dared to defy the Emperor of the Universe. And that was the first time I was defeated. In the beginning, your powers didn't come close to me. But as time went by, you got stronger through the fight. That spirit bomb technique almost killed me. And so everything just got worse. But I would never accept it, so I came back, stronger, until that damn son of Vegeta cut me in half and eradicated me. As if that wasn't enough, when I came back again, you with that Super Saiyan Blue transformation ended up defeating me again. Son Goku. Now, I will completely destroy you, Son Goku. Nothing of you will be left with my Black Frieza form. I am the Emperor, the true Emperor of the universe, and I will make you pay for everything you have done to me one day. And I will become the new God of destruction of this universe. This will be just the beginning of the Great Frieza! The Tournament of Power is over, and Goku is recovering after the final battle. Zeno-sama invites him to a special meeting.
Wow, that was an intense battle, but it was worth it. We managed to save our universe.
Goku is surprised when a portal opens before him and Zeno-sama appears.
Hello, Goku. I really enjoyed the tournament. It was very exciting.
Zeno-sama, what brings you here? I'm glad you enjoyed the tournament.
Goku, ever since I saw you fighting, I've been thinking of something interesting. Have you heard of the Gods of Destruction?
Well, yes, Beerus is a god of destruction, right? He is incredibly powerful.
Exactly. But did you know that there's always a parallel between the Gods of Destruction and the Supreme Kais? When a God of Destruction dies, the Supreme Kai also dies. And vice versa. It keeps the balance.
Cool. But what's the deal?
Well, Goku, I've been watching you. Your passion for fighting, your strength, and your pure heart. I kept thinking, what if the balance between the Gods of Destruction and the Supreme Kais was a little different?
Huh? Different how?
What if you, Goku, became Universe 7's new Gods of Destruction? You would maintain the balance between creation and destruction in a unique way.
Me? A god of destruction? But I love fighting, not destroying things.
Of course, Goku. Remember that being a god of destruction does not mean that you will only destroy. You will also have a responsibility to ensure that the balance is maintained.
This is quite complicated. I need to think about it.
Sure, Goku. You don't have to decide now, just think about it. It would be a unique opportunity to use your strength to protect the universe in a different way.
It's true. I always wanted to protect our universe. I will consider your proposal, Zen-chan.
Great! There's no rush. Just know that you have a unique potential, Goku.
The portal opens again.
Thank you, Zen-chan. I'll think about it and talk to my friends too.
See you later, Goku. No matter what you decide, I look forward to seeing you in the future.
The portal closes, leaving Goku brooding over the unique proposition that has been made to him. Goku returns to Earth and decides to discuss Zeno-sama's proposal with Beerus. He meets with Beerus on his planet.
Hey, Beerus! Lord Beerus! We need to talk.
Oh, is that you, Goku? What do you want now? I'm not in the mood for jokes.
It's not a joke, Beerus. Mr. Beerus. I had a conversation with Zen-chan and he made me a proposal.
What? A proposal? What is that?
He asked me if I would consider becoming Universe 7's new god of destruction.
What?
How dare he do this without consulting me? Does he think he can replace the god of destruction just like that?
Hey, calm down, Mr. Beerus. You just asked me. And I said I'd think about it. I didn't make any decisions.
This isn't something you can just think about. Being a god of destruction is a serious responsibility. And you just like to fight. You have no idea what it means to be responsible for balanced destruction.
I know it's an important decision, Mr. Beerus. I wouldn't take it lightly also. But I thought I'd discuss this with you before I do anything.
Discuss? You should have come to me right away. And now what? Will you challenge me for the post of God of Destruction?
What? No, Mr. Beerus. I'm not trying to challenge you. I just wanted to share this with you because I know it affects our universe.
Oh, you think you can just tell me and I'll take it? You're lucky to be my friend, Goku. Otherwise, I would just be turning you to cosmic dust right now.
I'm not trying to take your place, Mr. Beerus. I'm just trying to understand the full implication of this decision. If you think it's the right thing to do, I'll respect your position.
You have no idea what you're getting into, Goku. Being the god of destruction isn't all power and fight. It is a responsibility beyond your comprehension.
I understand it's a serious responsibility, Mr. Beerus. That's why I'm talking to you before making any final decision.
Do what you want. But know that if you accept this, you and I are going to have some serious fight to decide if you're truly worthy of that title.
I expected nothing less from you, Mr. Beerus. And even if things change, our friendship will never change.
Don't get sentimental. Just get out of here before I change my mind and destroy you and this entire planet.
Right, Mr. Beerus. See you later. Goku leaves the palace, leaving Beerus lost in thought. Meanwhile, Goku knows he has a lot to consider before making a decision that could affect not only his life, but the balance of Universe 7 as well. Daishinkan, the Grand Priest, has a meeting with Zeno-sama to discuss the proposal made to Goku. They are in the Great Priestess Hall.
Your Excellency, I would like to discuss the proposal made to Son Goku. The idea of making him a god of destruction is quite intriguing, but it also raises concerns.
Daishinkan, of course. I'm curious to hear your opinion. Please feel free to share your concerns.
Thank you, Excellency. Goku is an exceptional warrior and has demonstrated impressive skills in countless battles. However, being a god of destruction requires more than just brute strength and the will to fight. Zeno-sama?
Go on, I'm listening.
Being a god of destruction requires a delicate balance between creation and destruction. They must understand the consequences of their action not just on Earth, but throughout the universe. Destruction is a necessary part of the cycle of life, and a god of destruction's role is to ensure that it happens in a balanced way.
You're right, Daishinkan. Goku has a pure spirit and an insatiable desire to fight and overcome challenges, but he also demonstrated compassion and a strong sense of justice.
That is one of the concerns. His compassion and desire to protect may conflict with your role of destroying when necessary. We need to consider whether Goku has the mindset to make tough decisions in the name of balance.
That's true. However, Goku has the ability to overcome himself and learn from the experiences. He has always strived to protect Earth and the universe from greater threats.
But is that enough? We should also consider the dynamic with the current god of destruction, Beerus. The transition of power must be smooth and not cause unnecessary conflicts.
You're right, Daishinkan. The decision cannot be taken lightly. I would talk to Goku again and assess whether he's truly willing to accept this responsibility.
Thank you for considering my concerns, Your Excellency. Our goal is always to ensure harmony in the universes.
Yes, it's true. Let's watch closely and make a decision that's best for Universe 7 and Goku himself.
The discussion between Daishinkan and Zeno-sama reveals the complexity of the proposal to make Goku become a god of destruction. While Goku may be an exceptional fighter, concerns about his mindset and emotional balance are legitimate. The final decision can only be made after careful consideration of the universe-wide implications. Chapter 1: The Legend of the Tailed Brothers. Year 737. Planet Vegeta. Paragus was being held by King Vegeta's men while he begged for his son, Broly, not to be killed. But that didn't seem to have moved him one bit, and after a long time begging for his life and his son, King Vegeta was already gone. Tired of this conversation, before he could shoot a wave of energy at Paragus' chest to pulverize him once and for all, one of the gods appeared and made a proposal to the king. What if the little Saiyan was sent to a planet far from Frieza's vision and also of the planet, so that it would not cause any problems for his reign and yours? Pondering for some time, King Vegeta considered this a possibility he liked, and so he ordered that the little Saiyan be sent to a distant planet, this being one that was considered forgettable. And thus, one of the real scientists who passed by the room told a low-power Saiyan who curiously, although with the fight power of 2, the little Saiyan known as Kakarot managed to make little Broly cry, demonstrating to have a great potential. But of course, continued to be doubted due to the incredibly low fighting power, even for a child Saiyan. And if even then, the little Saiyan died at the hands of the legendary Saiyan, who would even care? And after arguing for a while, King Vegeta ordered the 2 Saiyans to be sent to the planet known as Earth, while he went to Frieza's ship with the troop after knowing what Saiyan Bardock had told everyone. With that, Broly and Kakarot were sent to Earth. But while they were traveling to the planet, Frieza decided to pay Planet Vegeta a visit. Planet Earth. Weeks later, after weeks traveling through the vast northern galaxy, the capsules containing the 2 small Saiyans finally landed on the blue planet. But due to the speed they entered the atmosphere, they end up falling with great force in a place known as Paozu Mountain, thus making a gigantic rumble next to a huge crater. Not far away, an old man known as Son Gohan heard this noise while tending his garden. So, he headed towards the forest, where he thought the noise had come from. After searching among the various bamboo grooves, he found 2 small ships next to each other, and curious, he went to check what they are. But when he got close, the doors began to open, and from there were revealed 2 small babies that looked strangely quiet. After judging that there was no problem, he decided to take them to his home before determining their fate. Not long after, Mr. Gohan realized that what he thought was the youngest started to get more aggressive, while the oldest, who although frustrated a lot, especially if the youngest cried, seemed to be much calmer, which more made Gohan believe that he would be the father of the 2, even though they are at the same age. After a while, it seemed that the 2 young people seemed to be liking the old man, but during a walk, the 2 little ones were being carried in a basket that he was carrying because they were going through a very narrow path. But while everything seemed calm, Kakarot started to tease the Broly. But before they started causing any bigger problems, Broly ended up losing his balance and by reflex took little Kakarot along. And so the 2 young people fell off the cliff and hit their heads, thus becoming unconscious. Desperate because he thought that his boys had died, he goes to them and notices that they are still breathing, and so he took them home so that he could take care of their injuries, and after days of taking care of them, they finally woke up, but without any memory of what happened to them. And not knowing their names even though he had known them for a considerable time, he decided to name them in honor of his grandparents, and thus Kakarot received the name Son Goku, while Broly was called Son Jingu. And growing up as brothers, Son Gohan knew that although they were 2 innocent children, they carried power, a power that he could only feel, but without knowing how. But on a certain day, the surprise of seeing how powerful they could be was not so nice. On a full moon night, Goku ended up seeing the full moon outside the house, and that made him turn into a gigantic monkey that attacked whatever was in front of him. Afraid of losing Goku, Gohan tried to control the beast, which unconsciously tried to crush the old man, which would happen if Jingu didn't intervene and hold the great foot of his beast, which made him see his own strength. Looking for a way to contain the beast so that Goku would return to normal before hurting himself or hurting them, Gohan noticed that perhaps their tail would make them turn into these beasts. And gathering some energy he had, he shot a small sphere of energy that was enough to cut off Goku's tail, causing him to immediately return to his normal state and, due to the exhaustion, pass out naked on the ground. Jingu and his grandfather took Goku inside, hoping everything would be alright. And when they left him on his bed right after changing him, Jingu started to think that it's better to avoid looking at the moon for fear of causing a problem even bigger. And knowing that this incident would hardly be the last, he decided that he would have to be exemplary by being a younger brother. So while his brother is usually innocent and playful, Jingu has a more caring and serious personality. Years passed, and while Gohan was busy tidying up his house, Goku and Jingu went to catch a fish for lunch, and as they returned, something ended up hitting Goku in the back. And thinking it was a monster wanting his fish, he launched at the sir, while Jingu just watched, and after a few seconds, something comes out of the monster, and that thing was actually a blue-haired girl, very angry because her car was broken. And after things were clarified, Goku and Jingu meet Bulma. After getting to know each other, Bulma tells why she had come to this place. It was to look for a mystical artifact known as the Dragon Ball, and she came to ask if they hadn't found one, and not knowing what they are, they decided to just invite her into the house, and taking the opportunity so that she could meet their grandfather, which Bulma was a little embarrassed at first because she misunderstood the message, because Bulma thought it was like meeting the parents of the beloved, but due to Goku's innocent nature of saying, of course, because that's where the food is, she ends up just accepting it. Even more so with Jingu simply appearing relaxed about a girl walking into his house out of the blue. And when they did, Jingu called his grandfather, saying that a girl had entered, and excited, Gohan decided to get some rolls for the guest, while the two caught the fish from the road. After clearing up everything about the spheres, Gohan decided to give her his sphere after hearing her motive, which was obviously to get a perfect boyfriend, and knowing that it can be dangerous to go looking for them, especially if the legends is true. He suggested that his grandchildren might follow. Hearing this, Goku was excited to have the opportunity to explore the world and maybe face strong guys, and maybe even be the strongest in the world. Meanwhile, Jingu didn't seem as excited as his little brother, because if they were, who would stay to help their grandfather with the housework? And before he could finish everything, Gohan said that it's fine, and that it would be good for them to go, since they were supposed to go with her, explore the world, and even if these fears are just a legend, they would at least have traveled to other places outside the mountain. And thus, Jingu reluctantly agrees. But on one condition: as soon as the journey ended, they would go home. As the journey in search of the Dragon Balls continued, Goku and Jingu met some friends, like Oolong, who, although he was feared due to his transformation technique, was deceived by Goku pretending to be a lost little girl, and after being defeated by his brothers, he followed the path with them due to the vitamin that Bulma made, which made him have to go to the bathroom all the time for him to say beep. Or Yamcha, who, although his way of meeting them was quite clumsy due to the fact that Goku was starving and Yamcha just wanted to steal them, along with a small scolding fight between Oolong and Puao, ended up with Yamcha being defeated when he tried to attack Goku with a sword, and Jingu stood in front of him and blocked the sword with his arm, breaking it into pieces, which made Yamcha freeze in fear and begged him to be forgiven, and in return offered him to join them in the adventure through the spheres, even more so because he would like to make a special wish to the dragon, which he didn't reveal to anyone, which made Bulma a little curious about it. And together with friends, they met their grandfather Roshi's master, who gave the two his flying cloud technique because he couldn't use it anymore, and gave Bulma his Dragon Ball in exchange for a light peek. Without it, know how he managed to convince him, and even managed to save Fry Pan Mountain with the help of a new friend called Chi-Chi, who ended up making Goku a promise to her marriage, even though he didn't know what that was. But also, along with that, they got strong enemies like Pilaf and his henchmen Mai and Shu, who were defeated by Goku turned back into the giant ape, destroying their entire castle. And shortly after the victory, Goku finds out about a martial arts tournament. And although his first reaction was one of a cheer, he soon remembers the promise he and his brother made. After reminding everyone of his promise, Jingo just places his right hand on his shoulder in a sign of "it's okay." And after saying how much this adventure helped him to enjoy and discover more about the world, he concluded that he wasn't ready to go back to his daily routine yet, and that perhaps it would be good for them to come back later. Especially since his little brother, he didn't seem to want to go back yet. Upon hearing this, Goku asked if their grandfather would agree to all of this, and after stroking his messy hair a little, Jingo said that he would tell Gohan that they would take a little longer to return, because as his brother wanted to fight in the martial arts tournament, it would not be a very mature attitude to deprive him of having fun. And that opened a huge smile on Goku's face, who quickly threw himself at his brother and hugged him very tightly, catching the flying cloud and going to the Kami Island to start training. While Jingo returned to his home in Paozu Mountain to warn his grandfather that although he thought Gohan might be disappointed, he thought it was really cool that they wanted to continue exploring the world, and even said that it would be good if he went with him to the West City, since that's where his friends are, which made Jingo much happier. And so he and his grandfather went to the city, while Goku trained under Roshi's jurisdiction, which led him to improve his Kamehameha skills and meet his best friend, Krillin. During their stay in West City, Bulma invited Jingo and Gohan to live in one of their houses inside her family's company, the Capsule Corporation, and a little embarrassed, Jingo ends up thanking her immensely, who as a way of compensating for his favor of accompanying her on the adventure of the spheres. She asks him if he would like to study with her, since she knows that neither he nor his little brother has ever been in a school before. And not knowing what that is, he decides to just stay at home helping the doing some everyday tasks, which made Bulma a little frustrated, and to take her anger out, she made an excuse that he needed new clothes, as she didn't want to be seen walking around with a person who only looks like she wears one. But yeah, of course, it was all a trick for him to carry out her groceries. But when they were returning to her house, a group of bandits tried to rob them, but they were surprised by Jingo, who without any effort managed to send them flying into an alley. Of course, measuring his strength to avoid deaths and serious injuries, which made Bulma admire him even more, not only for having defended her, but for simply punishing the bad guys without them getting serious bruises, and that made they become more connected. After a year, the tournament finally started. And there, in addition to Goku's reunion with his friends, there was also Roshi's reunion with Gohan. And while Goku was looking forward to fighting with his brother, he said that he would not participate, that he just wanted to see him fight so they could know how much stronger he got. And so while Goku, Yamcha, and Krillin entered with 5 other unknown competitors, Jingo and the others were looking for a place to watch the tournament, but they found it strange that the Master Roshi wasn't there. And during the second fight, he and his grandfather started to get suspicious of the mysterious Jackie Chun, who seemed to be a little older than he should be, even more so for having defeated Yamcha so easily without laying a finger. And the suspicions are only concluded when, defeating Krillin, the mysterious figure uses a Kamehameha to avoid falling out of the ring, but they decide not to tell so that they know why. When Goku finally reaches the finals, Jackie Chan begins to fight, and while everyone seemed mesmerized by Jackie's skills, Jingo warned Goku where he was going to attack, and this ended up giving him a certain advantage against the master, but not enough so that he could prevent the drunken fist of the same, which resulted in Goku having trouble dodging and by accident turned into a giant ape and almost destroyed the entire arena, being prevented by Jackie Chan destroying the moon, making him turn into normal. but without memory and completely naked. After the tournament is over, the mysterious figure decides to invite everyone to a snack that he would pay for with the money he won from the tournament, which almost runs out due to the almost inexhaustible hunger of the two brothers. After they finish eating, Goku says that he's still curious to explore the world further. After they finish eating, Goku says that he is still curious to explore the world, and even with Jingo saying that they might have been far longer than they should be away from home, Gohan accepts and says that it wouldn't be good for them to simply stop discovering the world just because of a silly promise. And with that said, Goku says goodbye once again to his friends and climbing on the flying cloud begins to travel in search of adventures. Goku and the revelation of the Supreme Angel. One peaceful day on planet Earth. Goku was training intensively in his counting yard, always trying to surpass his limits. As he performed his exercises, he felt a powerful presence approaching, unlike anything he had ever felt before. Intrigued, Goku stopped his training and looked up at the sky, where the energy was coming from. Suddenly, a heavenly creature appeared before him. It was an imposing being, dressed in white and gold clothes, with majestic wings that seemed to embrace the heavens themselves. His name was Seraphil, the Supreme Angel. With a gentle smile, Seraphil greeted Goku. "I see that you are an exceptional warrior, Son Goku," said Seraphil in a calm yet powerful voice. "I am here to invite you to a meeting at the Celestial Temple, where I wish to discuss something of great importance with you." Curious and excited, Goku accepted the invitation right away. He summoned instant transmission and found himself transported to the Celestial Temple, a place beyond any description he had ever seen. In the Celestial Temple, Goku found himself facing a gathering of deities, angels, and cosmic beings of unrivaled power. Seraphil introduced Goku to the council and revealed that he was, in fact, the strongest mortal in this universe he has ever known. Goku was thrilled, but a doubt lingered in his mind. "But what brought me here? What do you want to discuss with me?" Seraphil looked at Goku seriously. "There is a being even more powerful than I am, a being who oversees the entire multiverse. The Supreme Primordial Angel, the one who appointed me to this role. Yet this being has remained hidden from eons, for his power is beyond any understanding." Goku was in awe and eager to meet the Supreme Being. He expressed his desire to define him and challenge him to a friendly combat. Seraphil warned Goku of the gravity of this encounter, explaining that the Supreme Primordial Angel was above the notions of combat and victory. He represented cosmic balance and harmony between all universes. Even so, accepting Goku's wish, Seraphil led him to a dimension where the Supreme Primordial Angel resided. Before Goku was an overwhelming presence of energy, a light that could not be looked at directly. A soft, reverberating voice echoed in his mind. "Goku, exceptional warrior, I see your pure heart and your constant quest for challenge and overcoming." Goku responded excitedly. "It's an honor to meet you. It's an honor to meet you, Primordial Supreme Angel. Seraphil has told me about you and your immense wisdom." The Primordial Supreme Angel explained to Goku the importance of protecting existence and universal balance, and how his power transcended any notion of battle. Goku, moved, understood that this encounter was an opportunity for spiritual growth and understanding of the universe on a level never before imagined. Goku spent time in the realm of the Supreme Primordial Angel, learning about the intricate workings of the multiverse, how each being's creation affected the entire cosmos, and the importance of protecting cosmic harmony. He also understood that physical strength was only a small part of the true power. With a heart full of gratitude, Goku returned to planet Earth. He shared his experiences with his friends and family, reinforcing the importance of protecting your world and everyone else. While continuing to train and fight, Goku also devoted himself to cultivating his spiritual knowledge and his connection to the universe. And so, Goku not only expanded his combat horizons, but also his understanding of the role he played in a vast and complex cosmos. Keeping alive the flame of the warrior who always seeks challenges, but also understanding the value of protecting existence in all ways. its shapes. While Goku was immersed in the search of cosmic knowledge with the Supreme Primordial Angel, the god of destruction Beerus and his assistant Whis began to notice disturbances in the fabric of the universe. They felt a different energy, a presence they couldn't ignore. Beerus, always curious and a little temperamental, decided to investigate the source of this disturbance along with Whis. The two gods traveled across the universe following the trail of this mysterious energy. Eventually, their quest led them to the Celestial Temple, where they were confronted by Seraphel, the Supreme Angel. Beerus, Whis, it's an honor to have you here, greeted Seraphel in their calm, collected voice. Beerus eyed Seraphel suspiciously.
Who are you? And why is your energy causing such a stir in the universes?
Whis, on the other hand, looked more serene. He seemed to recognize Seraphel's importance and unique nature. I am Seraphel, a supreme angel, and the turmoil you felt is Goku, the result of his training and learning. Seraphel explained. He came here in search of wisdom and spiritual growth. Beerus looked at Whis in disbelief.
Goku, training with high angels? That's unbelievable!
Whis intervened. My lord, remember what I have told you about Goku. He is an extraordinary mortal, always looking for challenges and growth. It seems that he has found something much greater than we could imagine. Beerus and Whis were led by Seraphel himself to a space where they could only meet Goku. There they saw Goku, whose aura radiated a balance of physical and spiritual strength that was remarkable even for the gods. Beerus looked at Goku with a mixture of skepticism and curiosity.
So, you have been training here with these high angels?
Goku smiled, feeling the familiar presence of Beerus and Whis.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I've learned a lot about the universe, about how our actions affect everything around us.
Whis nodded approvingly. Mr. Goku, it's gratifying to see that you recognize the importance of understanding cosmic balance. It will certainly make you an even more formidable warrior. Beerus crossed his arms, looking less hostile.
You may have grown up, but don't think I'm going to take it easy on our next fight.
Goku laughed and accepted Beerus' challenge with enthusiasm. While the gods and the mortals shared moments of interaction, the Supreme Primordial God watched from afar, satisfied with the connection being formed between all these beings. As time passed, Goku continued his training, balancing his combat skills with his spiritual understanding and his responsibility to protect the harmony of the universe. He periodically visited the Celestial Temple, where he met with Seraphel and received guidance and advice. Beerus and Whis also maintained a closer relationship with Goku, appreciating his relentless pursuit of growth. Together, they occasionally ventured on cosmic quests to maintain universal balance. The story of Goku and his journey of spiritual growth has spread across the universes, inspiring other warriors to not only seek physical strength, but also to understand their role in a vast tapestry of the multiverse. And so, Goku's legacy expanded beyond the boundaries of combat, making him not only a powerful fighter, but also a guardian of cosmic balance. To be continued. So hey, what do you believe and what do you imagine about all of this, my partner? Do not forget to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel as always, and click the bell so you don't miss any of our other videos. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.